The Venerable Bede was an English monk who lived during the 7th and 8th centuries. He is widely revered as the father of English history. Bede's death song is only 5 lines long and is arguably the most famous surviving piece of verse. The title Bede's death song is not original. It was given by later editors. In the manuscripts, the poem appears without any heading. Nevertheless, the chosen title has endured since it captures both the circumstances of its composition and its central theme. Bede breathed his last on Thursday, May 26, 735 CE, on the Ascension Day, the 40th day after the resurrection of Christ. When Christians believe that Jesus ascended into heaven, shortly before his death, Bede asked for a small box of his worldly possessions to be brought and distributed among the priests of the monastery. These humble treasures included such simple items as pepper and incense. According to tradition, it was at this time, near his final moments, that he composed the short poem we now call Bede's Death Song. The title may be interpreted in two ways. It can mean the song Bede composed as he lay dying, or it can mean the poem about death written by Bede. Either way, the sense remains the same. It is both a personal farewell and a profound reflection on the inevitability of death. The poem begins with the words, "Before the unavoidable journey there." This opening immediately sets the tone. Death is described as a journey, one that cannot be avoided, a journey every human being must take. The Christian belief in the inevitability of death and the transition to another realm permeates these lines. Recall the sentiment of 2 Corinthians 6:9. We are born to die and we die to live. The poem echoes this paradoxical truth that life leads to death and death leads to eternal life. The next thought is equally profound. No one becomes wiser in thought than him. Here, the poet reflects on the wisdom that comes when one recognizes the reality of mortality. The wise person is the one who contemplates this final journey with seriousness. The contrast between the fool and the wise is a recurring theme in the Bible. Psalm 14:1 declares, "The fool has said in his heart, there is no God." Against this backdrop, Bede's poem highlights the true wisdom of acknowledging death and preparing for it through reflection on one's deeds. The phrase "by need" suggests that this wisdom is forced upon us. Death compels contemplation. The poem specifies what to ponder. It says the person should ponder what good and evil is within his soul. The focus here is distinctly Christian. It is not outward achievements, wealth, or fame that matter in the end, but the moral record inscribed upon the soul. In Christian theology, human beings are judged by God after death. The good deeds we have performed and the evil we have committed remain within the soul to be on the day of judgment. The conclusion of the poem reinforces its power. Death closes the possibility of change. Once a person has died, there is no chance to correct mistakes or undo evil. The moral weight of one's deeds is carried into eternity. This solemn truth gives the poem its intensity. Though it comprises only 5 lines, Bede's death song contains profound theological and moral insights. It exemplifies the key features of Anglo-Saxon poetry: the use of alliteration, the presence of a medial caesura, and the absence of end rhyme. Its structure is simple, but its thought is profound. The opening line frames death as the unavoidable journey, while the final line insists on the lasting presence of good and evil within the soul. Between these, the poet views a brief but a powerful meditation that continues to resonate more than 1,000 years after it was composed.